Welcome to Senior Care Corner. I'm Barry.
And I'm Kathy. Thanks for joining us for a special edition of You Might Be a Family Caregiver. Those who serve as caregivers to family members are special people who often need to be reminded to care for their own needs because of the toll caregiving takes on their lives. Many filling that role don't recognize themselves as family caregivers, though, so may not realize the impact it has on their lives, both physically, emotionally, and often even financially.
This video, made in the style of the most famous routine of that fantastic comedian Jeff Foxworthy, is part of our attempt to reach those family caregivers so they understand their needs are important as well. While some of what we say may bring a smile to your face, it's not our intent to make fun of anyone and certainly not to make light of anyone's situation. Instead, to educate, inform, and hopefully encourage those who see themselves here to seek support. Kathy, how about if I get us started?
Okay.
If you've answered the same question from a parent with Alzheimer's 10 times today, you might be a family caregiver.
If you find yourself watching reruns of Lawrence Welk and Andy Griffiths with your parents and grandparents, you might be a family caregiver.
If you have set up a regular time to call a senior loved one who lives alone so you can check on her well-being, you might be a family caregiver.
If you spend your vacation doing home renovations to make your senior loved one's house a more comfortable and safer home in which to age in place, you might be a family caregiver.
If you know what all the acronyms for government agencies and programs on aging mean, you might be a family caregiver.
If you have ever found yourself driving around town looking for a magnifying glass so your parent or grandparent can read the newspaper, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've spent a weekend installing a home monitoring system that lets your loved one's healthcare providers check on their activity and vital signs remotely, yes, you might be a family caregiver.
If you arrange for senior loved ones to visit your home on a long weekend to give a break to family members with whom they normally live, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've had to clean highlighter off your Kindle or iPad after your grandmother was using it to read a book, well, yeah, you might be a family caregiver.
If you find yourself taking responsibility for the maintenance of an aging loved one's car out of fear that they'll get stranded, you might be a family caregiver.
If you, no matter what your age, have stopped by to set up your grandparents' smartphones, tablets, or computer, create accounts on Facebook, and shown them how to use it securely to engage the world around them, you might be a family caregiver.
If you visit aging parents or grandparents to help them with their laundry or other housekeeping tasks, you might be a family caregiver.
If you attend care plan meetings and family councils and senior loved ones' long-term care facilities in order to advocate for their needs, you might be a family caregiver.
If you felt the need to remove the ladders from a loved one's home so they won't climb on the roof when you're not around, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've gotten one of those scary calls from the neighbor of a senior loved one who saw them fall in the driveway while getting the mail, you might be a family caregiver.
If your senior loved one moved into your home after losing their spouse, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've had to rush over to a senior loved one's house to pick them up after a fall or rescue them from the bathtub, you might be a family caregiver.
If you visit loved ones from regularly to fix their meals and take them out to dinner at their favorite eatery, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've taken over the lawn mowing and yard maintenance for your grandparents because it's difficult for them to do so, you might be a family caregiver.
If you know how to set up medical equipment in the home, you might be a family caregiver.
If you find you're on a first-name basis with all the nurses in your local emergency room, yes, you might be a family caregiver.
If you keep a supply of hearing aid batteries handy in your home because your senior loved one never seems to realize that theirs have run out, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've had the pleasant task of cleaning a loved one's dentures this week, you might be a family caregiver.
If you've accumulated more frequent shopper bonus points from your local pharmacy than you will ever need, you might be a family caregiver.
If you're a regular on healthcare Twitter chats and have online friends to whom you turn for support in your dealings with loved ones' medical matters, you might be a family caregiver.
If there's a chair in your family room just a few feet away from your big screen TV, you might be a family caregiver.
If, help, I've fallen and can't get up, just isn't a joke to you, You might be a family caregiver.
If you find yourself asking your teen children to stay home with their grandparents while you run out to the store, you might be a family caregiver.
If you monitor your parents' credit card and bank accounts online to protect against fraud and their own overspending, you might be a family caregiver.
If you have read and understood the ratings for your local nursing home from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, you might be a family caregiver.
If you stop by the home or nursing home of senior loved ones from time to time simply to chat, making them a part of your life and you a part of theirs, yes, you might be a family caregiver.
If you have helped a loved one prepare a living will or other advanced medical directives, you might be a family caregiver.
And if you see yourself in some of these, we hope you'll set aside some time to seek the support you need as a family caregiver, including, of course, visiting us regularly at seniorcarecorner.com. Until we see you there, we thank you for stopping by and hope you have a great day.